William was in love with Jesus and set out to read his Bible again. Sitting here in this room and starting in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, he made his way methodically through the Bible using his Cruden's Concordance. When he came across a word or a verse that he did not understand, he would cross-reference it until he came to a full understanding. He came to Daniel 8:14, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed, and did not understand it. Rather than reading on, he stopped there, stayed there, studied it out, and his conclusions would have a far-reaching impact. The motivating factor in William's life was not a pursuit of head knowledge, but it was his love of Jesus. It was a deep love and a force that kept him going. As he continued his study of Daniel 8, he came to the conclusion that Jesus would come in about 25 years. As he studied and restudied, he concluded in 1818 that Jesus would come around the year 1843. Yet despite having this great news, he did nothing about it, keeping it mainly to himself. He did tell a few friends, but did nothing publicly. He was worried that he would be made fun of and did not want to leave his hometown to speak. He did write some articles that were published, but as yet he had done no preaching.
William struggled with the call to preach for 13 years. He heard in his mind over and over the words, "Go and tell the world." Finally, one day, he made a prayer of commitment that if he was asked to preach, then he would go. He felt this was a pretty safe fleece, for no one was going to ask a 50-year-old farmer to preach about the second coming. Not long after, his doorbell rang, and his nephew Irvin Guilford was there, and he asked him if he would come to Dresden to share the things that he had been studying. Rather than being thankful his prayer had been answered, he stormed out the door angrily.
He walked out of his house and came to this maple grove here and paced up and down. His daughter Lucy followed him, and after watching a while, she went back inside and said, "Mommy, something's wrong with Daddy." You see, something was wrong. He was under conviction and could not reason his way out of it. His nephew lived over half an hour away, which meant he left his house before Miller prayed the prayer of commitment, and he could thus see the moving of God in this situation. As the sign says, he went in a farmer and came out a preacher. After accepting the call to preach, Miller traveled extensively over the next 10 years across the northeastern parts of the United States with his prophecy chart and Bible with him. Many were converted, and the revival wasn't linked to a particular denomination. Although Miller was a Baptist, one estimate has him winning over 40,000 to the Baptist church and over 40,000 to the Methodist church. It was not long before he would meet up with Joshua B. Hines, thus extending his influence from the spoken word to the written word. Maybe God is calling you to the ministry to preach. Maybe you have been resisting his call like William did for 13 years. I want to assure you that the best place to be is safe in the peace that you are not resisting the Holy Spirit and that you're following God's will for your life. If God is calling you, then step out in faith and let him lead.